And welcome back to Warrior Presents, the live stream where we will go over many things and more. You can comment in the chat section or not. I really don't care. And for your pleasure and enjoyment, we will be doing gifts. We will be doing lots of fun things today. It's going to be a great time. So sit down, buckle up, and let's sit back and enjoy the ride. And welcome back. This is your man Warrior, and yes, HK47 is coming in the next 24 hours. Carrie confirmed it on Twitter. She is definitely not sharing that information with us, but if you follow her, and we have to, as Game Changers, we have to follow her because she's given the community all the yummy morsels of information, and we are just along for the ride. But I want to go over the Ebon Hawk because that came into the game yesterday, surprised me. I was like, what? And they were like, yep. And I was like, oh, never mind. So anyway, I wanted to go over the kit really quick, but everyone's like, why do you think HK's in the next 24 hours? Well, she said it on Twitter, so we're going to go over that. I like this picture in the background, though, by the way, because you can see it's HK. He looks pretty dope. And then you see the Ebon Hawks literally in the background. I think that's pretty awesome. So yeah, this is just basically an update video. Going to have a little bit of fun. So why do I think HK is getting his rework in the next 24 hours? Well, we know he's getting his rework because he was with a Gamorrean guard and he had his Zeta. So that's a thing. So let's go ahead and go into it. So this is my Twitter feed, and this was a guy, his name's Scott Gibson, made you famous. He says, hi, Carrie, dying for some Star Wars Galaxy Heroes news out here tomorrow, ? And Carrie responds by saying, observation, something will happen tomorrow. Now, this was at 12:40 in the morning last night, like a few hours ago, like 7 hours ago. So I don't know if she means today, like Thursday in the evening, or if she means like she realized it was Thursday already and she was meaning Friday. So it's sometime in the next 24 hours because she said tomorrow, and that's indicative of 24 hours. Now, people are saying, why do you think that's an HK47 reference? And so for that, I go over into HK47 quotes. You can go and find these on Fandom and all sorts of other places, but he always stated what he was doing, the protocol, whether it was commentary, correction, query, observation. He has a ton of these statements. He'll say statement, blah, 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 blah. But for observations, he'd say observation, and then he'd say whatever his observation was. So you can see there's a bunch of these observation quotes. And of course, she put it in the exact same format. Observation, something will happen tomorrow. So there you go. You've got HK47 in the next 24 hours incoming. Now, I want to go over the Ebon Hawk kit. This live stream is not going to be too long. I just want to basically bust out the kit, and then I got to get out of here for work, but I don't have time to make a video unless it's a live stream, so that's why you guys are getting live stream. Alrighty, so let's move over to my fandangled information that I get. It's exclusive Game Changer information here. None of you know this website. This is a special secret, so follow me to the secret world of... Wait. Okay, hold on. Okay. There we are. Okay, there we are. Man, I thought I had the right one, but I didn't. I apologize for that. So, whoops, didn't mean to take you to that super secret layer of game changer footage. I apologize. So the unit's Ebon Hawk, obviously, it's going to be light side support. It's Old Republic. There's really no Old Republic in the game as far as ships go. So they also tagged it a cargo ship, which is appropriate. And so the cargo ship is going to really help it with the cargo ship. Now we actually have enough cargo ships. We have one extra that you don't actually have to get every cargo ship in the game to do a cargo ship centric type of team. Pilots are going to be Karth, and then of course T3 will be doing navigation, so that's why T3 is thrown in there. It says it's a durable Old Republic support that dispels enemies and prevents target lock. Now, the first thing I noticed when I saw it is it's a better reinforcement ship than it is a front 3 ship. Although it would work really well in the front 3, and I'll tell you why as we go through the kit. But when it comes in, it dispels and prevents target lock. It has chaff. Chaff is like when a plane is flying and someone's about to shoot them, they drop a bunch of chaff and the missiles miss because the heat signature from the chaff causes or pulls away the missiles. And so in theory, when you're target locked, you're going to get hit guaranteed, right? Well, to drop chaff is to drop the target lock centric stuff. So it's kind of cool. I'm glad they called it chaff. That actually makes a ton of sense. So anyway, it's dispelling and prevents other target locks. It synergizes with other cargo ships, like I said, and it's very effective as a reinforcement. They do suggest Home 1, of course, Han's Millennium Falcon, because you should have that ship. If you don't, it's a sad day in Arena for you. And then Ghost and Phantom, because those are both considered cargo ships. So that is definitely a thing. So we're going to go over the abilities. The first ability, I really like the way the Sith Fighter dies. This is a pretty cool GIF. It's the basic is called Heavy Laser Turrets, and its final text says deals physical damage to a target enemy and attacks again. So it's just going to do a double mollywop, guaranteed automatically. And then it also grants another random buffed ally 15% turn meter. Now this is why it would work really well in the front 3. If you know, a lot of people run Biston, and Biston is there to basically grant a bunch of random turn meter, which can really sway the RNG in your favor, which is why that's a favorited ship in the beginning. Well, this guy on his basic shoots twice and then grants turn meter for each attack. That's 30% turn meter total he's giving every single time he takes a turn. Pretty cool, but when he comes in from reinforcement, he'll do the same thing. Now, his first special is for Karth, because they each have their own, T3 will have his and Karth will have his crew potential. So his is called Potent Pilot, and it deals physical damage to a target enemy and dispels all buffs on them. So this is pretty cool. He strips all the buffs on them. And what's cool is if he comes in from reinforcement, he can kill all the buffs, plus then he can target someone else that happened to have buffs if for some reason it missed. It says this attack deals 20% more damage for each ally with chaff. So you really do want everyone to have chaff, and the only way for that to happen is to come in out of reinforcement, because then they all get it. And then it can't be evaded by Sith. So you can see that this is starting to target the Sith synergy, which means there's got to be more Sith on the horizon, very specifically probably a capital Sith ship. So that's pretty big deal. So Sith capital ship, I don't know when we'll see that. I've been calling out potentially 2 new capital ships for a while now, and it hasn't happened. So make sure you get your prestige up, because you're going to want that prestige for sure. But I like that. It also just defines chaff, which I already had defined earlier, but it's target lock immunity. It prevents for a couple of turns, because you get chaff for 2 turns. You get that target lock immunity. I am curious as to the order of operations with Darth Vader, because Darth Vader, when it expires, it renews, and when chaff comes on, they're immune. My guess is chaff's going to override. What's going to happen is the target lock's going to fall off, chaff's going to go on. It's going to attempt to reapply Darth Vader's target lock, but it will fail because it will have that immunity. So it'll be interesting. And so, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. The second special is T3s. And by the way, a lot of people said this is stupid. Why use stupid characters that are not good? And if you don't know about T3, then don't know about it. But T3 is one of the best droids in the game for all purpose. A double Zeta droid. T3, it will mess your day up in Grand Arena. If you've never faced one, I'm sorry, but HK47 with any other droid like Chopper and then T3 double Zeta, and you're screwed. It's a very, very A level meta team. So T3 is not someone to joke around about. He's phenomenal. So if you don't know about that, you might want to be okay with going ahead and developing him. And of course, I think everyone understands Karth is a great leader for Territory Wars and Grand Arena. So pretty good on that. Now, T3 has a really cool ability. Love this. Again, another cooldown of 3, and it's called Scramble Scanners. And I actually love the animations, how all the explosions go off from the side when they shoot the photons. And it says deals physical damage to a target enemy and inflict buff immunity. This is another way to work on going against the Houndstooth. They're just incorporating a few more ships with those abilities. It allows you to drop some characters, such as maybe if you were using Wedge and you didn't want to use Wedge, well, now you get to bring in a different ship that maybe you like better for that purpose. And it inflicts buff immunity for 2 turns. It dispels target lock from all allies and grants them the chaff for 2 turns. So there you go. You're going to clear all those target locks and then give them the target lock immunity called chaff. And then it says this attack gains 20% critical chance for each other cargo ship ally. So they are going to reward you for running the Millennium Falcon, Ghost, Phantom. So that's where you're going to maximize his abilities. I know that they leave in here some ship ideas that they have had, but the ship comps they use are only okay. They didn't actually show you the absolute best, and they always do that. The first unique in this is called Critical Cargo. This is really good. This is just a unique working in the background, and it says the Ebon Hawk gains foresight for 1 turn each time it's critically hit. So every time you hit it with a crit, it's going to get the foresight up. It's going to act kind of like the Phantom in that it's going to be very dodgy, constantly, getting foresight and not having foresight. And so it's going to be tough to kind of chew through because you're going to miss basically every other turn if you're critting. It also says it has a plus 15% defense for each other ally. That's other ally, not each ally, so it won't count itself. It says doubled for cargo ally ships or cargo ship allies. So if you've got 3 other cargo ship allies, he would get 45% defense, and it would be doubled, so he'd get 90% defense. This should make this ship extremely tanky and very, very durable. So sounds actually really pretty good. It says all allies, that will include itself, all allies will have plus 20% potency. So that's good. Everyone's going to be landing those debuffs better. This is actually a workaround for anyone running the Ghost in their front 3. This is going to help make sure that the Ghost doesn't stunt your potent potential. And it says the Ebon Hawk gains 30% turn meter each time it scores a critical hit. So that's huge because that's a ton of turn meter. A third turn meter is huge. Now it has a hardware, which is called Special Delivery. This is its reinforcement, and it says when it enters battle, it's going to dispel target lock from all allies and grant them chaff for 2 turns. This is exactly like T3's ability up here, the Scramble Scanner. So it's worked in twice, so you get to do it twice. Pretty awesome. And if the battle goes long enough, you can do it more. It will dispel all buffs on them and dispel all buffs on the enemies. So now we have not just Cassian to totally eliminate the entire opposing side's buffs, but now we have this guy. So he's kind of like Biston and Cassian rolled into one, plus he's going to be super tanky and really help against the target lock meta. So pretty cool. It will dispel all buffs on the enemies and then inflict on the enemies evasion down for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. So even if they have foresight themselves, you're going to go right through that foresight. Now, there are some developer notes. This is the first time they've ever done the developer notes, and I'm happy that they do this because now we can kind of get in their mind as to what it was they were thinking. It says it's a really interesting ship design because we don't have an Old Republic fleet or for to nest into. There are a limited number of scenes in the original game where it's directly involved in combat. From the outset, we designed this ship, it should be from the onset, we designed this ship to be a viable plug-and-play option with more focus on strong reinforcement utility versus the frontline play. It can work well in the frontline, but yes, it definitely works better in the reinforcement. It compared to character combat, which has tremendous breadth of status effects, the ships do lack some diversity, which we know. So it's interesting. They're going to continue to expand this information. So they're trying to create more unique abilities that can be introduced. So I'm happy about that, although we don't want to get too many of them. It says early on the design process, we aligned around granting immunity to allies as the core of the new effect, and it became central to how they built up what would eventually become chaff. We think the Ebon Hawk pairs particularly well with Galactic Republic. Interesting. The Geonosians. Interesting. The Bounty Hunters. Totally agree. However, the ability to dispel all enemy buffs from reinforcement should make it good, just like Cassian's U-Wing is against anything that you face. They showed different lineups that they played with. So they have a Tarkin with kind of an Empire Sith meta. It looks like mostly Sith with a little Empire dashed in, and him as the first reinforcement. An interesting combination to be sure. The next one, Mace, this is kind of the timeout team from the previous meta just before Han's Millennium Falcon. And it looks pretty good. That would be a pretty solid team. They have it in the last slot for reinforcement. I think it would do better coming in a little sooner because it provides so much extra turn meter. It would be better in this Mace fleet in the first slot for reinforcement. Plus, it's so tanky with the additional defense and the other cargo ships in that front line. I think it would do better in the first slot. They have geos here. I think the geos are solid no matter what. I know a lot of people that still run this specific meta, so definitely pretty cool. And then it shows Admiral Akbar, of course. I know it shows doesn't show Thrawn. Thrawn's always viable no matter what, and Thrawn is kind of the answer. You can just whap Houndstooth and he's gone. And then Admiral Akbar, it shows, a bunch of cargo ships. Basically, this is insane because it's going to be using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cargo ships in this lineup. That's pretty nuts. If it was me, I'd almost just go all cargo ships. Why not? And just see what happens. But pretty awesome. I'm interested to try it. The thing is with the ship is that it's going to be just like the last ship that came out, the Empire's shuttle, and in that it's going to be something that you're going to have to just kind of farm regular stuff, and you're going to get bonus drops and get it that way. And I think I got a 4-star. I didn't even get a 5-star last time. So I personally am not a huge fan of it, but if you're going to be farming anyway, you're going to get a ship in the long run. I just hope it's not required for the Darth Revan or Malik situation that's coming up, because if it is, then you definitely would need it 7 stars, I'm sure. And if you choose to pass on this ship or just get it to 4 or 5 stars, you very well might stunt yourself from being in the next meta that is coming. So just some thoughts on that. Anyway, I've had a really good time today. The whole point of this video was to kind of keep it short, under 20 minutes, and go over all of this stuff. I hope you guys had fun today. As always, if you have any ideas about different compositions you can use the Ebon Hawk, leave them in the comments down below. I thank you guys. I've got some special treats for this weekend, so stay tuned to my channel for some really cool things. I've got a brand new series that my patrons helped me title, and we're going to have the very first video from that series coming out this weekend. Really pretty excited about it. And special shout out one last time to Urban Blaster for the t-shirt, double mollywopping since 2015, brother. I'll talk to you guys later. As always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.